I know that the Constitution of the United States was fashioned after the Iroquois Nation's Great Treaty, where those tribes all along the New York State Thruway, which of course wasn't there, but that was the Iroquois Trail, they had a confederation that had kept peace for hundreds of years. And the founding fathers used that as the template, but they left out the one part, and that was that the grandmothers had the final say, yay or nay, as to whether they went to war. And we need to now bring in the wisdom of the grandmothers, first of all, because it is so fierce for life. It is fierce for life. And it's a wonderful place to be, to finally, to trust yourself enough with that stuff. I think that men are happy only when that's going on, because they know their role to protect and serve. It's so simple, because what did they do? They co-opted women. Remember the Dress for Success with the shoulder pads in the 80s?
Oh, my Lordy.
I mean, I had a bunch of those suits. I mean, like, oh, you can do everything as well as a man. Guess what? You can't. You don't want to. Every time I get on an airplane and I have some guy who's willing to put my carry-on bag up there, I'm always so grateful. It's like, yeah, I've noticed you have upper body strength that I don't have. Of course I can do it. But if I don't have to,
point. Yeah,
it's not the point. It's not the point. And a whole group of women have lost the plot. And then there's the trans idiocy that it boggles my mind. Although I noticed today, I think I heard that Georgia has voted to ban sex change on children, the gender surgery and the puberty blockers. This is so insane. I have a friend who lived in Atlanta, and he said that what happened within 6 months, at least 2/3 of the girls in his daughter's 8th grade class, and this is in a wealthy suburb of Atlanta, 2/3 of the girls came home and said they were non-binary. There's something they're doing. There's a frequency that they're putting in the loudspeaker or whatever that's going through the schools. Aren't they somewhere in Europe? They're making it legal to marry animals.
Spain has a weird, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, everybody. Okay, we're going to make it. Humanity is going to make it. But this is the test now. We're in the test phase. And that is, can you stand up for sanity? Can you stand up for your made in the image of God righteousness? Can you do that? And there are many who can't. Everyone, we know this, everyone will eventually make it. They'll eventually make it. It could be 500,000 more lifetimes. That's not my job. Mm-hmm. My job is to be a beacon of sanity and feminine wisdom. And it really all begins with the egg. I mean, if you just think about what the egg does in a female, it sends out a signal. First of all, it's got all these handmaidens. It's called the cumulus oophrus, very beautiful. All around the egg, if it pops out. And then it sends out a signal to the sperm. The sperm swim madly. And if women just would understand this, I don't know if you've ever been with a competitive guy, but honest to God, I would go out just rowing. Oh yeah. Just rowing on the water with my late beloved Ron. And we would be out there, going past the oyster flats and all that. And he would see another boat and we would have to race. And I would say to him, what is and I realized it is so embedded in the biology. And so I would just laugh and I would row harder because if he wanted to win, I could help with that. So the egg, the primary sperm gets there and then the egg chooses who gets in. And then if there's a little genetic problem, she upgrades the sperm within her egg now, which is why all the most handsome men are always with good women who are always egging them on to look better. You will notice a man with no woman is always like bedraggled. He's like a sperm that didn't get fixed. And then there's enough food in there There's enough food for the 3-day spiral trip down the fallopian tube and finally embedding in the placenta. It's all right there in the biology of life and in a micro level and then in a macro level. And if we could just embrace it. And, remember, I don't know if you went through this, but in the 70s and 80s, all these mothers, I am not going to let my sons play with guns. They are not playing with guns. And then, of course, every freaking stick on the property is a gun. And there's been way too much wounding of men. And the other thing, Christina will tell you, we know this, men are way more sensitive than women, way more sensitive. Their hearts are yin. You have to get to a man's heart. A woman is yang. She loves in a yang way. Breasts stick out and she's, let me love you. And the guy, he protects his heart.